says that we should be live now, but
Okay.
we'll see whether it's actually coming.
Okay, search again.
Okay, must press enter.
Not wow poo. Whoa, mammon.
Well, man,
Why
do you not just click on this?
No, see, this is our stream. See there?
No, you don't click there. You
Why?
never. I tell you not to do things, and you
Doesn't
don't
make
listen to
sense.
me. You don't listen to me. You never listen to me. You go here.
Oh,
Ooh,
it's
there
alive,
it
it's
is.
alive.
Yes, no. I've told you that the past 6 live streams, and you
No,
still don't listen to me.
Ooh,
All right, shall we get started?
I guess.
All right, I'll bring down the stream curtain, and we'll go for
There are
it.
no friends in the Discord.
Oh, shh, shh, shh. It's time to start. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Cal,
I'm Sunny,
aka
Henry, and Sangita.
All right, it looks like we're going to be starting off strong.
We're
Kit strong.
Does the skull read as bone? Trying out a new, very simple formula. Paint with cream wise, sepia wash, dry brush cream wise. Then finish up with a very light dry brush of a white mixed with cream.
So I think one of the biggest problems when it comes to skulls, right, is it's contextual. So, for example, when you're in a desert setting, right, you're going to have a lot of similar colors. Now, currently, it looks very light, but at the moment, the rest of her hasn't been fully developed. So I wouldn't be able to say one way or the other. The biggest defining factor that I would say to whether it feels skull-like is when we have a neutral background and when we have those horns done up. Because currently, it doesn't feel as if I can comment accurately one way or the other.
Okay.
But honest opinion, I would lean against currently. But keep in mind all those caveats. Once you have a neutral grey background behind her and you're taking her in an actual photo box, you know, I
Things
might...
look different.
Yeah, exactly. So just keep that in mind. I don't think that it's done badly, that's for sure. But as to your question, does it read as bone? Yeah. That's how I look at it. All right, so let's move on to our next one.
Penguin.
Hello, Penguin.
He's sick.
Yes, so I have
Sick.
heard. Fully sick, mate.
Do you want to be on the TV show?
Honey. Moving on.
Lance Davenport. Time for a new, for a few simple minis. Several layers of wash and dry brush to get the wet/fluid look.
Yeah, I think it works. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. And this is one of the other things, guys, when it comes to some of these things. I was just thinking about how many models that I have unfinished recently. Oh no. Sending good vibes to you. Thanks, Iskander, for sending your vibes to Penguin. Also, I should click this so that it'll actually pop up on the stream. Right, where was I? Words, probably. I think that this is one of the things that people have to remember when it comes to army painting is when you're just doing tabletop, it's fine when, like, you've got all of these token sort of things, right? These aren't going to be major players, and it doesn't matter, like, how well you paint these up. They're going to probably be ignored. Alright, next up, we have...
Lance, once again.
Mm-hmm.
One last slimy slithering monster, and on the bigger I think he meant to say onto bigger, better things.
So this would be the perfect example of what I said before. So obviously you need some sort of base, because currently there is no base. But, like, for example, this skull doesn't read as well as this skull here, that bone there, or this bone over here, right? And once again, this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, this could be described as a desert yellow, right?
Yeah.
When we take a look at it, we just see it's quite yellow, but when compared to that bone, it feels bone-like because of its point of comparison, right? Whereas you could use this desert yellow color as bone. Like, I've seen plenty of people do it. So that's one of the things that I'd take a look at.
I think this could benefit from a gloss varnish to give the slimy look. Because that's what he wants to do, a slime.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I think you're right. Gloss varnish, very good. But an applied gloss varnish, not an overall gloss varnish.
Yeah, because you don't want it to touch the bones.
Yes,
the bones
or the chain.
Those should be kept as is.
Yep,
just the slimy bits.
Alright, so next up we've
got Cyan after so long. Finally started work on my Xenonids Tyrannid Xenomorph hybrid race. Made the base from the spare sprue and will be working off an idea of either the Sulaco or Nostromo from the films. And as you can see, the eyes of this winged prime are gone. Why, Sprugu? Because what is a xenomorph if you have eyes?
Looks good thus far, and also I like what he's done to prep with the basing.
Oh yeah.
So I think, like, obviously you want to add a bit of texture in there so that it's not so obvious that it's all just sprue.
Sprues.
But I think, there's...
It looks quite similar to the kind that you made the Adeptus Mechanicus bases.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've got a 3D printer, those bases are completely free. So if you want to go off and find those, feel free to do so.
Ooh, froggies. Lance, once again.
The Lance is absolutely smashing it.
I like these codes. Wading through my pile of shame, or in this case a swamp of never-ending shame. I'm up to my eyes in unpainted minis, and by year end would think I could get to knee deep. Hush, guys. Talking to the nice people. That's what he said. Look at them, the eating people got hands coming out of their mouths.
So I think the only thing with this one is I think he has them on like lily pads. That's the sculpt. But if that's what you're going for, you need to paint this blue. Because otherwise people are like, everything's green. Yeah. And they won't get the idea that it's blue.
And I think the lily pad should be a different type of green too.
I agree, like a deep green.
Yeah, like a deep dark green.
So like a deep jade would be nice. Yeah. But like other than that, I think that they look great. Like they're perfect tabletop. And also look at those eyes. Those are pretty good eyes.
Very nice eyes. Toady.
Yes. All right. Shall we move on?
Look. J. Ayers. Been silent for a while here, but I am back. Even if the first task was rebuilding this after a mishap with a long drop. Finally can call it done now. It has been based. It looks good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just zooming in on the little eagle he's got in here, except it looks to be a vulture.
It's a pterodactyl.
So just with this basing here, right? I think that you should put a bit more effort into the basing, and the reason I say that, right, is it's obvious that you put quite a lot of effort into the dude itself, right? Now, I take a look at this, right, and just
it feels very manicured.
Well, like, that doesn't matter. I don't think it matters that it feels manicured. What I think matters is keeping that feeling verisimilitude. So, if you can see black on the base, on the base itself, that's always like not good. So what I would do is I'd get some more of your gravel, paste it over there, bring it all the way to the edge. Same with this grass over here, bring that all the way to the edge. Just tidy up a bit. I don't think any of the base work is bad. It's just that you got to get that thing to the edge. Now, as for the model itself, I think it looks good. I think it's perfectly serviceable. I think the way that he's integrated the decals is really good. Because you take a look at this, and you know how decals are usually just so freaking stark? I think the way he's done this, especially when you look at it here, like, it looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks integrated into the cloth or the crest. Hold on.
But the one thing that I do want to point out is that when we take a look even at this angle, right, we can see that black snake through quite easily.
Yep.
And along here. And see, it sticks out like I'm trying to find the non-Australian...
Sore thumb. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
There we go.
Sore thumb, yeah.
So I was going to say dogs.
Yes, I know what you were going to say. But I feel that's not really, for me, the critique. For me, I feel the base feels like you've got this monstrous thing in a Zen garden.
Yeah, but I think that can fit. Like, you know, he's a Chaos Titan, right? And the whole idea is that he's coming in and ruining this place.
Sure, but if he's gonna do that, then I guess it has to have more, like, it's got to look messed up a bit. It doesn't really up. But
I don't know. I don't mind that. The only thing that I mind is just like actually making sure that everything's nice and clean. Yeah. All right. So let us move on to the next one.
Penguin also thinks the night looks.
Yes, I saw it.
R.J. Warren. Oh, should we skip over until the
no, I think we can take
ones?
I think we can take a quick look each time. But yeah, he's done quite a few updates and even more on the Discord.
And what I liked about with the Discord is that he was pumping out progress pictures within the same day. So like he has been really going at it. He's really committed to this piece.
Yeah, and like that's what I really love about WAYPN, because imagine you're somebody, right, and you're just like, oh, I could never be like one. Oh, woest me. And then like you see him and he's like, all right, I've got this done. And then it's like, all right, I'm spending the whole day masking.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing this. And that's one of the things that I wanted to focus a bit on this. I just wanted to take a look each time because this is what WAYPN is about. You know, we see these progress pictures. We see how things are. And yeah. But let us move on.
I'm gonna put a laughing.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of our eternal co-host.
Ah, yes, Larry. Larry falls sick today.
Larry falls sick today?
Larry falls sick today.
No, that's other Larry.
Other Larry is Greg now.
Oh. All right.
All right. Next, we have. Oh, yes.
Yes.
It is Larry.
That's what I was talking
Larry
about.
the
I'm already
Greg.
there.
Okay, this is Greg now.
Oh, yo.
Painted this for a birthday present. Shipping was delayed and there wasn't much time for painting. About 7 hours or so, including priming. Add about 3 to assemble. See below. I think it turned out okay. Though I wish I had another week to work on it. Made it up with the Chicago Cubs colors. It has some good details, but I haven't had a model this painful to put together in a long time. The pieces didn't fit together well and left large gaps that I had to... Oh, there's more. Okay. Try to fill, which ended up losing some detail in spots. Also, it said use cyanoacrylate, but it takes so long to bond. The lower half of the torso had a void or gap or something across half the body width, for example, and flashing all over. And I don't know if this stuff is resin or some kind of soft plastic, but the times I've tried working with it, it never cleans up well, especially around the hands. Too flexy to clean well with a knife, and trying to sand it makes it pile rather than smoothing it out. Oh, that's weird. Something called Siocast, I think.
Yeah, I think it's called Silocast or Silocast,
Oh,
but you know, like I'm just basing it. I didn't see the word, but I've heard people talk about it before. So, a couple of things. I think that you painted it up very well, but here's what I want to say. So, like, I do love my scale 75s, and all those colors there that you have. But when it came to priming, I don't see the prime color there. So here's my suggestion, Larry. Like, honestly, I love the SMS for priming for exactly this reason. Because, like, when you're a commission painter, like, dry time is one of your biggest enemies. Like, if you have to sit there and wait for something to dry, like you're losing your mind. Especially if you're like me and you do a lot of zenithal stuff. Like, that will literally drive you mad. Like, I'm not being figurative here. You're just like, oh, I've got to get this, and you just lose it a bit. And I'm not even kidding about it. It's just like, oh boy, I'm going to lose my dang mind. But yeah, I think that those reds and blues came out so well, and I'm unsurprised to see that you're using the golden here. But yeah, it's interesting. I'd like to see how the so flat works, because there's lots of people who have been talking about the so flat, and I just like to check it out. But
me too.
Yeah, like this, Larry, after we've told you about our Calidor's cream.
Yeah.
Betrayal.
Mud in a citadel, but
Betrayal, Larry.
Betrayal.
But honestly,
I think the finish was fantastic, even though he had so much trouble.
Yeah, but I think Ultramarine's bear is good.
Ultramarine bear is good.
Yeah. The only thing that I would say on it is I feel like the sword's flat, and you know, a lot of it's quite flat compared to your other work. But to be fair, he did tell us the time constraints and his goals, so I think he hit his goal with everything.
I feel that he should have swapped it around. Like this medallion, the handle on the sword should have been metallic red, and then steel for the blade. I feel like it feels a bit weird for it to be like red.
I feel like that's much of a muchness. It's like, oh, you know, this thing should be red, and that that's very color preference more than.
It's not. It doesn't.
It's a feature. Look,
I think
making
the bear is the feature.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. I think that's fair.
I feel like it just sort of throws it off a bit. I feel like I'm focusing more on the sword than I am on the bear.
All right, I'll give that one to you.
Yay!
Yep. All right, let us move on with that said.
Some more Kit Strong.
Are you sure it's Kit Strong? It looks to be very similar to Larry.
Oh my god, it's a copy bear. Copy bear. A quick and fun paint job to kick off the weekend. Worst part was assembly. Not a big fan of Siocast, since it doesn't work with plastic cement.
It's just one after the other.
It's just the curse of the ultramarine bear.
But yeah, no, it's like the funniest thing is, like, both of you guys said I didn't enjoy working with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing with this one is, like, Kit, I don't know if this is a whip or it's a finished one, and also it is very out of focus.
Yeah, it is out of focus.
So I think that there's a lot of neutrals on this. I think that the golds come up nice. like, I have to think this is a whip, so I'd like to move on because, like, you know, Kit gives good stuff, so I don't think that he'd leave something unfinished and unfocused.
No, I'm gonna have to say laughing. Say the copy bear. So, copy bear.
All right, very well done.
Copy bear.
You've done well.
Done it.
And Cal's Conan voice almost came out.
You did.
Oh, you know, I'd love you to read this out while I'm just going to go through this image
It's
slide.
an award.
Yes, just
Attended a God tier tournament today. Won 2 and lost 2. But I also walked away with the Best Painted Models award, of course. Third time ever. Over 10 plus years of painting and playing. Edit. Updated the gallery with pics of the winning war bands. Gene, Goblin, Styx, Death, Rangosh, Minotaur, and Blackjaw Orc.
But the one thing that I'd like to focus on is how in the comments of this post. So I'll just go back to this, and hopefully view post will come up, no problems. Yeah, okay. So when we see all the comments, Joe R. Sutton said, you know, show us the models, and like what I love is the encouragement of that with this community. And also the other thing is that, so we focus on works in progress and all of that sort of thing, but he felt happy to show all of this off. And like, I think that that's really cool because he's shown us all of these models as he's painted through them. And I think this is good, you know, take that moment to celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
You know, don't keep them to yourself because, what is it? The sign of a good friend is somebody who will commiserate with you when you're down, and who will celebrate with you when you win.
Yes.
So yeah, and like that's the thing. I'm really happy for him. I just feel good that this is a place where he felt he could share this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have
David.
Yep.
David Cronkite, right? That's how you say it?
I've got no idea.
Hi all. I just wanted to introduce myself and share a photo I took.
Yeah,
He's a bard.
He's a bard.
Yeah, he's a bard.
I see.
But his model is not a bard. King.
Mm-mm.
Barbarian king.
So I think this is one that he's finished off before. So hopefully we will see some whips in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, it's one we know.
Would you like to read out?
Painting and stuff.
But yeah, the thing is, I will reveal some of the secrets of the Discord. If I can find it, that is the masking one.
Oh, I think you went past it. Go down.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. That's the masking. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing that I loved seeing this, because he's like 3 hours of masking.
What is that, like putty?
Yeah, that's putty.
How did you get a hold of so much putty?
You do understand the concept of, you know, purchasing items and such.
Yeah,
right?
but it's so many.
But yeah, and look, I've worked with putty before. Trust me, it's no fun. It's zero fun, but it's very.
I think
very effective.
Compared to certain other methods, like it's more less time consuming to apply.
All right, you know what? I will send a
Okay.
See you, Skander. I will, however, send a quick message to Warren.
Yeah.
While because he did ask to be on this one. All right.
A live message instead?
Have the alarms failed you?
Indeed.
Yes.
Alrighto.
All right. So next up
next.
we have Cass.
Cass, more Necromunda whip, and these are the wolves Votan.
Yep,
Probably
Votan.
Yeah, this looks good. Looks good. I would paint Votan.
This looks a lot better than where they were. Certainly
They
a
were
lot better.
unpainted when we played.
Yeah,
played them.
yeah. But yeah, I think they'll look pretty good once they're all done up.
Yeah.
But I do really like that black against the stark white, and it shows a lot of control on Cass's part. You know, like he does say that, you know, he's no good at painting and such, but I would say that this shows otherwise.
Yeah. I think he's got a good.
All right, next up
we've got Kit once again.
It's strong.
Very strong. Sunday Whip.
Whip.
Finish assembling the Warcrow set, and I am starting on the painting. I can't decide if I want to leave the pants that color or not.
It looks as if he's kind of in a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
So I would leave it the same color as everything else.
I don't think it's particularly distracting or anything.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be. Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. I really like the green skin with the yellow highlights. That's coming up quite nicely as well. All right. So next up, who do we have? Joseph Malion.
My Titans are coming along. Dark leather next, I think.
You know, it's so funny because we see so much of his works in progress, and so often, you know, it feels like the owl meme. You know the owl meme?
Oh yeah. The one where you how to draw an owl. They start off with the basic shape, step 1, and then step 2, it's the completely rendered owl.
Yeah. But we do see how things come along a bit. But like that's how I feel like, for example, with this one over here, I feel like that's how it's gonna go. It's gonna be like, oh yeah, and then by the end of it, we're gonna be like, when did all of that happen?
You know, it's quite like, I don't know how to express it, but it's like you see how hardworking he is. I think like he has a post on like a competition winning, and immediately after that, what is he doing?
Yeah, he's back at it.
Back at it again. You know this.
All right.
Yeah.
So next up, we have somebody who doesn't love us at all.
That's the nanny from the newest faction from Moonstone, the game.
Man, it's a bit too much where I'm like, no.
But he definitely got that sort of cartoon vibe.
Yeah, but the yellow milk makes me just go,
yeah, but that's kind of what this is about, clearly. It's not a very good nanny.
And like,
what even is this thing that she's holding?
It's an octopus or something, because it's in the soup bowl. The
ladle.
Soup spoon. And like for a minute, I thought like she was feeding the octopus, because I didn't realize that, you know, this was meant to be the food.
I think she hasn't cooked it yet.
No, I think that she's trying to serve it to someone.
No, it's very dangerous. They are in sashimi octopus sort of thing.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, and I would. That's not for me. I don't even like sushi. Sushi too raw for me. I feel like every sort of Midwest American post where people make fun of them, and it's like, But I just want to comment on the paint job. I think the paint job's absolutely fantastic. But I just find the whole thing off-putting. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to see this anymore. Yeah. Alright, so next up, it's that guy. It's Member Monday. It's It's Member Monday. Hashtag Member Monday. What is a digital place that has no soil, no climate, no terrain, but it does have a people? A people is what makes every digital place, and I'm very happy with the culture that the people have here have made. With that said, let us welcome our latest member,
David Cronkite.
Okay, you can say it for me. You can finish it.
Sorry.
You can finish it now.
You can say it. I've said it already.
Okay, we have a question for you. What are you painting now? Make a post about it. And as per always, does somebody post something in there?
No! No one posted anything in the here.
Really? Click that view more comments.
Comments.
Come on. Right there. I'm not going to click it because it'll collapse our thing.
There's a painting.
Yes.
It's not
Scroll up.
Yes.
So, yes. Anyway, next up, we've got Paul Inman.
Paul! Isaac Newton, mad scientist. This is the last miniature from the Chamber of Curiosities expansion for Anno Domini 1666.
I see. It feels like that this is some sort of like group of miscast heroes.
Yep.
An alternative,
a very odd.
Yeah, an alternative and somewhat fantasized retelling of the 17th history where Faust's magic and his devilish assistant Mephistopheles are real. Isaac Newton is a mad scientist akin to Dr. Frankenstein, where priests hunt actual demons. Interesting. Interesting.
That makes sense. Demons?
So, next up, okay, yeah, no, he just shows off the full piece which we just saw before. So, yeah, this is exactly what we saw before. So, we'll move on from that one. Alright, and then after that, we have RJ
Warren calling it for the weekend, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, no, he
got
does show the masking. You know, I look here and I see the Galactus piece here, and I'm just like, damn, he's painted this thing up twice? Because I'm not sure.
I thought it was the same model, but you could switch out the head.
Maybe it is.
But like you'll see later on, this the lighting along the chin is different. So we'll see if it's just. Oh no, but that's part of the head. So it's okay. That makes sense. Okay. So it's just the heads that are swappable.
Yep. All right. So next up, I feel like somebody might have listened to us.
Nice.
Maybe.
Good job, Cal.
No, I think it looks good.
Yeah, you've got a lovely amount of contrast going on here.
And I also feel like it's much more separated this time. Like the way that he did those lines, like they don't feel unnatural, you know, against the crab claws. And like this feels much nicer. Now, like all he has to do is put two other elements on the base, and then I feel like I'll look at Cal's stuff and I'll be like, woo.
The back is quite lovely, actually.
The back? Let's take a look at the back. Yeah, I think the back looks nice, but for me, that's not the feature. For me, it's the front. Because I take a look at this, and we've got some nice colours here, right? We've got the legs that go from that yellow into the green, but they start up here so that they've separated the body a lot, right? I think that the black eye with that sort of eyeliner fade looks quite nice.
Yeah.
Like, this is basically everything that I wanted from last week.
Yeah.
And I think it looks really good.
Yes.
Alright, so.
We've got Connor Patterson. Vanguard Veterans finally completed. I don't know how long it's gotten me to this point, but they're finally done. Just need to finish the rest of the Chaos Space Marines M5 Intercessor.
So, Connor, the first thing that I would suggest is getting yourself a light box. So, I'm I'm gonna see if I can find that particular thing.
Just have to go by date or something.
No, should how to take pictures of miniatures, and it should come up. It's a short that we did. All right, there is basically everybody but us.
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
How to take a good picture of a miniature.
Here's how you take.
And I will just grab this, because currently I'd love you to repost this with all of these guys. And I'm not going to give full commentary because, I mean, take a look at this, guys, right? The flash cancels things out. I don't think there was a lot of light with the sun to begin with. And then all of these are very, what do you call that?
Washed out.
Washed out, yeah. Thought it was called flooded. But, like, I can...
Overexposed.
Overexposed, yeah. But what you said is the thing. Like, I feel like you've done a lot of good work. I feel like the black looks nice. But by the same token, it's very hard to tell, you know, how well that you've actually done on these. And so I really think that you should get yourself a light box. And, like, honestly, man, just watch the thing. Like, the light box that I've made in our house, it's, like, its biggest cost is the 2 lights. Right? And they were like $10 each or something. And that's in Australian dollars. So, you know, like, it's probably £2 for you. Or wherever you are. Like, the thing is, it's not that much. And especially, here's what I'd like you to think about for a minute, right? You have put so much work into making sure that these guys look good. And you've sort of let yourself down at the last minute. And I'm not having a go at you as a person or anything. I'm just saying it's a common thing. And the reason why, like, I often go through this one is, think about it this way, right? Like, imagine you win a trophy and then what you end up doing is sort of putting it in a junk drawer.
Yeah.
And
because you want to show it off, you gotta just make sure it looks nice when you.
Yeah, you don't have to push it in everybody's face, but you know, it'd be nice to be able to see what you've achieved. All right, so next up we have
Ellen.
Yes, Nick Allen.
Nick Allen getting close, going to repaint the gun, and then it's just weathering.
Yeah, it's looking really nice.
And these are the old Terminators.
Yeah, and the thing is, I do believe he wanted to paint it in the old school style.
The retro style.
And it feels very much like that old school retro style. Except for the battle damage that you've ever already done, because as far as I remember, the old school style didn't really have battle damage. It was all very clean. I'm not saying it looks bad. I'm just saying if your goal is retro style, it's very sort of smooth. Like, I think on the helmet, 100%. And, like, usually I love battle damage and I think it looks great here. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. But if your goal is the retro style, you might want to move away from that. Alright. Hey, Rumbleroo, how you doing? I really liked this one.
Yeah.
Just the comment, though, made me... I just found it hilarious. Like, it's obvious that he didn't put in a lot of effort into the wings along here. But the fact that he's just got bored.
Yeah, he got bored, so he decided to make a... what is this? I forget the name of this.
Oh, Michelangelo's something of the Lord.
It's not Goliath, no.
No, because it's God. Lord. It's God reaching out to man.
Yeah, it is just like Sanguinius reaching out to his marines, but this is the sanguinary god. And and I thought it looked pretty good, even though it was just done out of boredom. It's got a strong concept. So, shall we move on to...
We shall move on. Alright, so next up, here's actually something that we'd like to talk about for a hot minute. So, we've done this poll, right? And the thing is with it, we're no longer going to be doing lore on the main channel. We're going to be starting a lore channel, and we've already got some things in the works. For example, a new member came into the server, and we had a good chat about the idea of an 8th Chaos God. And it was kind of mildly hilarious because when they joined, they're like, all right,
YouTube deleted my comment 3 times.
And
so
like,
now I joined the Discord.
Just so that I can give my comment. Yeah.
And I kind of liked that, actually.
Yeah. But the thing is, what I would like to do is I'd like to kick that off again soon, and hopefully this will start up something nice and new for us. And what I'm hoping is this will be Saturday and Thursday, so that we... What?
Is it?
Yeah, so we don't compete with ourselves, and that we can put up those on Rage Discord joining. Yes, correct, Rumbleroo.
It is nice to see in the sense, because it shows that people see that we do pay attention to them. That they felt that, okay, I can't catch a hold of them on YouTube, but I know that they're elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I'll just go there.
Yep.
So they don't feel like, oh, if they put up a comment, we're not gonna interact with them. We've sort of established that to
Speaking of, I think we need to change the settings so that we no longer get comments in the emails, because it's starting to flood the inbox.
Yeah, well, you gotta clean it up, hon. You gotta delete some of them.
No,
can I have some juice?
Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
Alright, next up we have Calvinoni.
Oh! Evil warrior and more terrain.
And see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, Cal doesn't have a particularly complicated setup here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, it is literally just a cardboard box.
Yeah.
And just some lights on it.
Yeah, all you want is a plain background so that your camera can focus on your model.
We care about you, so join our Discord.
Yes, Penguin likes head pats from WAYPN. Yes, where's the pet? There's no pet.
No. But so when I took a look at the terrain, I was just like, it does look really nice. The terrain. I feel like the guy is a bit monotone. But what do you think?
Yeah, I would say he is looking a bit on the monotone side. He matches the terrain, actually. It looks a lot like the terrain.
I wouldn't say that.
I think he's color, is he?
He's like he's all like green and gold. Sort of color.
Verdigreased gold sort of thing.
I'm not sure what kind of gold it is, but it is definitely a gold. But we do see some separation there, and I do like the blue sword to give it some contrast.
Yeah, but it is quite dark. The blue.
I think the blue's fine. I think that's not where I have any of the issues.
It's literally the same value as the rest of it.
I don't mind it.
Okay. Grim brown setting. Oh, Rumble. A mini potato.
I think it looks decent. I think it looks decent.
Oh yes. Oh, it's John Slanesh.
John Slanesh. What's he got to say?
He says spooky season is here.
Yep.
Decided to paint up this guy last night. I know.
Oh, wow.
I know the base isn't painted, but I hate basing. Use some pro acryl fluorescence to get the OSL to pop more. Then throw him into my UV curing station
Holy
to see
cow.
the glow. Oh, I didn't know you need to cure it. Oh well. The splatters you see on his scythe and coat is it's overspray from the airbrush and fluorescence.
I see.
Cool. Oh, so he's put it in the curing station so that it will glow. So that you can see.
Yeah, no, when I played it first, the thing was, wow, it was very loud. I was surprised. But yeah, I don't mind the oversplash of the fluorescence.
Yeah.
I think it looks,
Nice.
fine.
I think it's a really well done model.
Yeah, I would agree. I was surprised to see that he did it last night. I thought it was going to be another one of those throwbacks, but I think it, like, for a day's worth of painting, just a couple of hours, I think it looks nice. I like the way that he's done up the pants.
I like the paint, yeah.
I think the pumpkins look good, but you do really need to do up the base, my dude.
He doesn't want to do the base.
I don't care. Like, the thing is, it looks unfinished, and like it really shows off, like, the fact that the pumpkins have some splash over. You just do up that with some brown, and then you put a gold on the rim of this thing, and you're done. It's really not that hard.
Okay.
It's true.
Yes.
All right.
Now we have
Next up,
the Greg.
it's
It's Greg. Larry has some flu. October throwback. Pumpkin-headed bugbear. I painted something last year. I love a good pumpkin.
I wonder why it's a bugbear though, because like it just looks like a pumpkin dude
Monster.
thing. Yeah, like
I really like it. I like how the matte textures and the color is so poppy.
yeah, the color's very popping, but I think of everything, the thing I like is the little details,
I
like
do.
the patterning,
On the
the
tongue.
blood on the hands.
that.
The inside the mouth, instead of being the sort of usual mouth colors, it's that sort of gunk that you get inside the pumpkins.
That makes sense. I think
Yeah.
it's an actual monster, but then he's got pumpkin on his head for some.
I don't know.
He fell
what-
into a pumpkin patch.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Moving on. We will look. Oh no. I shouldn't have moved on so quickly.
It is you.
It is me.
Gotta read your own post.
Okay.
I'm gonna read.
It's Whip Wednesday. Hashtag Whip Wednesday. These are some Blood Bowl elves that I finished up tabletop level. What are you painting now? I've got more pictures, but they are P.S. I got more pictures, but they're tabletop level. Do you want more pictures? No one said yes, so I have to assume.
You gotta.
Yeah,
I think
looked
it looks very.
I think from afar they look very nice. I think this is very much one of those rules of
3 feet.
3 feet versus 3 inches. And these guys I absolutely hated.
Well, yeah, I think some of the models you were fighting.
Yeah.
But like, cause the client had given it to us, and we had to strip it down. And I think they used like hardware store
Paint.
primer, the spray can, which is why it was just so gunky, and we had to redo it. And some of the prints didn't come out right either, because some of them were 3D printed. And
so Rumble Rouge says, "Where's the Halloween themed team?" All right, I'll get right on to that after I do everything else. But the one thing I really did enjoy was doing this, the scraping of the various lines and that sort of thing, where the turf has actually torn up. I think there's a better one I've got. Who's really got the turf torn up?
I think that's the model, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
see.
not on this angle. But yeah, so what I mean of an example of 3 feet versus 3 inches. So right here, like there's just a few little mistakes and that sort of thing. Also, I feel like after doing the 2 sprays of varnish, like things didn't come up quite as well. I am very happy with the little mask faces though. I think they came up really well.
Mm-hmm.
But the I feel like it was not my best work. I'm like, I have failed. But that's often how we feel, and like I want to be honest with my opinions on these sorts of things, because the thing is, guys, like it happens to us too. Like I really liked my work with the tokens, and that's about it. All right, next up we've got Larry has a flu, except it is not Penguin,
yes.
who is Larry. Who has a flu.
Progress continues. A few parts left to glue in, a few more than that to finish painting. But this is getting close to assembled and ready to start with weathering, etc. I realized a lot of parts just won't be visible after assembly. So why put too much effort into it?
Yeah.
For example, I started to paint up the flux capacitor in the rear of the cabin and have a glowy hose running to it. But as you will see, why worked on Speedy then messed up the highlights on the right leg. But again, no real reason to do too much fixing. Anyway, got his little buddies together so I can paint them and put them in the car when the rest of it is done. And that means it's about time I put serious thought into the base. I don't think I'll meet my goal of finishing by October 5th, but I'm a lot closer than I expected when I started. Then it will be time to start working on the scary stuff. Yay!
I think the reason why you may not hit that goal of October 5th, but we will take a look later, is probably because of the amount of times you restarted things and the amount of effort you put into details, which you yourself have admitted won't be seen. Things like this right here. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. By no means do I think it's a bad thing, because, you know, I like being that guy who paints all those little extra details. And for some people, they really appreciate that. For other people, not so much. But this guy still looks like he should be a part of the goth rocker set. You know, the one where the guy's screaming on stage.
You made a picture of him.
Oh yes. Oh, should I find that picture? All right.
Okay,
where is where was it? Was it in...
WAYPN? Yeah, it might be quite high up in the posts.
All right. I'll take a.
I know you. I think you personally messaged.
Did I personally?
That yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. If
it's too far out to.
I'll see. I'll take a quick look. It might have been posted in general, because we don't have that many channels, so
it's better to have less channels, honestly speaking. Discords with servers with like way too many channels are very overwhelming, in my opinion. Yes.
Yeah. Just gonna have. Yes, no.
There it is. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Let me just take the other
chat
one.
away. Rumbaroo as a sorry. Oh, this one is from the previous one. Your blubble. The armor says female, but the face says male. That's what I said.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said when I took the picture, and I'm like, oh my god, GW is so terrible that they didn't even bother to change the sculpt of the face. But then Cal told me that no, the client put the wrong head on.
Well, I didn't say that the client put the wrong head on. I said, like, the client just put those heads on. And, like, see, the problem is that some of the female faces do not look very female.
I'm telling you, that is definitely not the female ones.
Some of them.
They
Some of them.
all look the same. They all look the same.
All right. Well,
And anyway, and Rumble Roo say, as a painter, you know that wire buried under 3 plates of armor is there and needs painting.
anyway,
Fair enough.
let's move on to Nicholas Pryor.
Not Nicholas Future. Oy.
You all right there?
Yes.
You sound like you're having trouble breathing.
Yeah. Been a while since I've taken photos of my work. I painted Dane Ironfoot today, mounted and on foot. Also pictured is the rest of the Iron Hills army I've painted so far. I've only got one thing to say.
What?
Brother, may I have some oats?
No.
Brother, I am starving.
As am I, brother.
Tall, skinny guards stir the oats at me, brother.
No, you said the wrong lines.
You have to say
said
that.
the wrong lines.
Yeah, you was meant to say.
Okay, fine. The tall, skinny guards threw the oats at me, brother. At me!
I think they've taken a liking. That's the next part.
Let's actually talk about the paint job.
So I don't remember who in the our Discord mentioned this, but the fur of the warrior and the leather of the pig is
very close.
Close.
Yeah.
And he does agree, but he's not too upset with it. He's all right with it looking like.
I think honestly, just use some snakebite leather to tint that, because like snakebite leather's got a bit of yellow in it, and like this has a tiny bit of yellow in it, but not really compared to snakebite leather. I think like it could.
Or like if you dry brushed a pale brown over the coat.
No, I'm not saying dry brush or do anything like that. Tint would change everything, right? Just like do the absolute minimum amount of effort possible, because I do think it does sort of make it a lot more samey, where it's obvious that you put a lot of effort into this. And this is what I'm talking about with a lot of these things. Like try and match that level of effort, because you put effort into everything else, right? Like he's got a two-toned beard. He has a two-toned beard. Like I took a look at that and I was like, oh no, it looks like he's got some overspill from the steel on the face. Then I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's
the beard.
Yeah, that's the beard. And like then I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I do think the grey matches the steel a bit, but like, yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. And like on here, that doesn't clash with anything. It looks great. But so like that's why I'm not saying touch the coat or anything. I think the orange hair comes through really nicely. Like there's a lot to like about this model. And I think the thing is, it looks like you put all this effort into this base and then you sort of went pig go brown. No, I'm not trying to.
I know what you're saying.
I'm just saying that it's obvious that you put a lot of effort into this. Why not? Yeah.
This is a difficulty of all artists, but it is good best practice to try and be just consistent with our efforts throughout the entire piece, or else people will notice.
Yes.
People will
notice. I will agree. But I do think that the rest of the guys look really nice, and what I really love is the basing. I just absolutely love the basing. It's so nice. It's not over the top.
The flag is very nice.
Oh yes, the flag is very nice. He did a close up of that. But like this is what I'm talking about with basing. So like this is obviously character level basing, but you take a look at some of these other bases, right? It's just some snow, some stony ground, and a couple of tufts. And it's not over the top. And it looks really nice. Mm-hmm. Like you look at it and you're like, oh, that's great. Great, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Don't you mean oh yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so next up we have...
We've got Paul Inman once again.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my side projects. I bought this game for no reason other than I absolutely love Assassin's Creed. Or rather, I love the old Assassin's Creed. The newer entires, not so much. And in particular, the story of Ezio Auditor, I guess. This is still the peak of the series for me. I already have a love of a Renaissance era history and fiction, probably inspired by my past love of Warhammer fantasy, but the way Ubisoft depicted 15th century Florence, Venice, Rome, and later Constantinople was breathtaking, and having visited Venice many times, surprisingly accurate, if anyone was wondering. So when I am not painting Anno Domini 1666, I am sure you can also see similarities between the two in terms of their style and theme. I like to dabble in a bit of Assassin's Creed, Brotherhood of Venice. Most of the guards and generic soldiery have long since been painted last year, and I whizzed through them using Army Painter speed paints. But all of the characters, even these apprentice assassins, are being painted the good old-fashioned way. It's also a very good way of practicing painting white. You can see the rest of the set in the album on my painting page. And yes, as with Anno Domini 1666, I'm still torturing myself with UPVC miniatures. Why I do this to me? Apologize for duplicate post.
Alright, so the thing I take a look at is, so I think he's used some sort of wash with these ones.
Yeah.
But one of the problems when taking photos of white is often they don't show up that well. Yeah,
because it's so bright that the camera has...
Especially when you've got those lines of black next to them.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to say is, like, that is so clean. Those lines are so nice. Like, there is no bleed.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, very well nice. So I think that you've done really, really well there. I think that that looks absolutely fantastic. I think that all of that looks great. I do think that you could maybe go in with a lighter grey first and then, you know, even do like some darker grey shadowing and then a lighter white, but I may very much be wrong on that because of how photos are taken.
Yeah, 'cause I think the shadows come in quite nicely with the ladies' tops. So I think it might not actually be.
I'm not sure. I can't tell one way or the other, and that's an issue of why. Alright.
Got John Guess. Decided I needed a change of pace, so I started working on Grumbrindle, the White Dwarf. Still very much a whip. Let me know what y'all think and where I might be able to push it a little further.
So I think that the white looks nice, but it's very much the thing that I said just before. Like, it feels like it's too bright already.
Yeah.
Like, you could darken this down a fair bit and then bring up the whites. And I think you can see that a lot more clearly here. So I do not like Apothecary White. Soulblight Grey, I think, is better if you're going to use
a wash,
say,
a whitewash.
Yeah. Essentially a whitewash.
But it's a grey wash.
Yeah. And also would slightly darken down the white you've got on there already.
Yeah, make it more natural. Because it's hair.
I feel like it lacks depth and it just goes straight to stark white and you're just sort of blinded by it a bit. I think the blues come up very nicely. I think that your leathers come up very nicely. I think that the rocks need a bit of work though, because like they feel like you've just slapped some grey paint on at the moment. But that is a whip, so you know.
It is what it is.
Yes, so we will move on from that, and then
we've got Iskandar next.
Yeah, and it's a commission.
Yeah, it's more a commission work. A bit more constrained painting this one, as the client has a particular look that he likes. Plus, this mini needs to match the rest of the army. overall, I had a good time painting him, probably because it was only a single model. P.S. I love painting true metallic metal gold.
No, I think the true metallic metal gold came up nicely. I do think that you could have pushed it a bit more. Like, I would have...
With the white.
Yeah, but also the darkness of it. Like, I think that this looks like a very bright sterling silver sort of gold. It doesn't... and especially with the Dark Angels, I think a more... Like, the sort of standard gold that I use is... that's where I'd be looking at. But I think that he's gotten the Dark Angel look just completely down pat. So I like that nice fade on the crest there.
I do wish that there was something in the crest, like a simple...
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's doing a commission, so we can't, like, give him too much on that because you do what the client wants.
Yeah.
I do think that the red line is a bit choppy, but I don't think that that's something that he usually does because that's part of the underskirt.
Yeah. But it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's certainly not bad.
It could be better, but like I think as far as like this sort of thing goes, which is very difficult to do already.
Yes.
You've done a good job.
And I think part of it is honestly, and I can't blame the man for it, is probably nerves when you're on straight white. It's like every mistake is going to come up so much, so much more. But I guess one of the things that you taught me with that is you can draw in pencil.
Yeah, draw in pencil.
Iskander says that the client wishes to apply the decals themselves.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right.
Sure.
If
you can do what you want, I guess.
But like,
but why though?
Why? What I really like here is this angel's wings here on the sword. That's the way to do white, guys. Take a look at that. So it's a blue grey that he's used, and then he's used a little bit of the actual white in it is very little, like just here. So we see just like the white as the highlights. And it still reads perfectly as white. Like,
yep.
That's absolutely perfect. I do feel that the base is a fail though. Like,
yeah, it needs.
Yeah, like here's more of that style of white. It looks very nice. I also really the cape. Yeah, it's very stylistic. But see, it's okay to be stylistic, guys.
But I can definitely see the GW style here.
Yeah.
Like the latest style, that the way they paint.
It feels very GW style. But yes, so also, the placement of the tuft.
GW bases look like that.
Yeah, they do. But what I would do is I would have had, what I would have done is I would have removed this, right? Because it blocks some of the model. Bring the model forward a bit. You have the grass at the back.
Yeah.
Which makes for a better shot.
Yeah.
Also, you can have like a rock here. And the reason why you have rock there is it centers the model. You want to give that perpendicular line. Like, see, these are little tricks that you can use. But yeah, like, I'd bring the model a little forward, bring the tuft back, and have, like, a rock here. You only need 3 elements. You don't need a lot. And also, the way in which this is placed makes it feel out of place. Because you see how it almost feels like it's floating. What you wanted to do is put some of this texture paste around the edges of that tuft to make it seem like it's bursting up out of that soil because it looks very dry. So that's how it would look. It'd come up out of the ground exploding like that. And obviously I'm giving a lot more feedback here because obviously he's put a lot of effort into it. I really like the lightning bits. There's a lot of it that I really like, but mostly the shining gold, I think, can go deeper with its darkest areas and lighter with its brightest areas.
Okay, so he says, Oh, I always thought that it's funny to have the tuft at the back, but I guess it makes sense.
So the reason why I say the tuft at the back, right, is think about it this way. This piece, right, it is not your paint job. This is a commission piece. This is a piece of advertisement for you, right? You have the tuft about here. It blocks a bit of this leg, right? And you've got a bit of mold line along there, right? And that would distract from that. See, you can see that clean mold line right here. And when we look at that, the thing is, it will just make it so that you focus on here. What you want to do always when you're selling yourself, right, is you want to highlight your best attributes and you want to diminish your worst. And so, like, think of it that way. Don't worry about it because we're about to move on.
Okay.
We've only got 3 left. Sunny was taking your piece into Photoshop. So yeah, just think about it that way, right? Because you want people focusing on the white and all of that, and it sort of ruins the composition of your model here. So you see how we've got this nice strong line, it brings that to there. So you could have had a smaller plant here.
Yeah.
Right? Which would have...
Like follow the guiding line of the eye.
Yeah.
And then just, this is like composition, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, then if you just follow it, it just helps the piece feel more balanced and less out of place.
Yeah, so at the moment, it just feels out of place. And like, that's just one of the things... And this is very much visual design 101. It's not that, like, as I said, like, the only thing I think I had to go at your painting was really your gold, which, like, this is not flat at all. I think some of those pieces are flat, but I don't blame you. Once again, commission piece. And that's what I'm sort of trying to get at. Like, that's, when you're doing a commission piece, it is very different from doing something for yourself. Yeah, like that's how you got to think about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I see. I keep that in mind. That's what he said.
Yeah. So next up we have Joseph Malin.
I've had very little time to paint, but I hope to get these 5 Titans finished this weekend.
So we see a little bit more progress, but it's very little at the moment, and I think maybe this is why we feel like it's the owl thing. Because we see these little updates and we don't see as much of that difference unless we literally brought up his last post and compared post to post.
Yeah.
I do think that he's added a lot of definition to the muscles in these second lot of people. The whirling rope thingy and the Triton guy.
The harpoon.
Yeah. But... other than that, it's just another whip, but that's a good thing. Good to see people's progress.
I like how he's done the white. It's very natural.
Yeah, it's a very nice sort of creamy white.
Like a linen, right?
Yeah.
Ah, look at Larry.
He's showing off one of his throwbacks.
Yeah, October is time for thrilling Thursday throwbacks. Meet Jackie. Cute as can be, but he'll give you the evil eye if you're not polite. Beware his pumpkiny power.
But I love the use of fluorescence here.
Oh my gosh.
But, here's a sort of masterclass in basing, right? It's nothing crazy here. Just a few leaves.
Yeah, nice little autumn leaves.
Yeah, on a grey base. Like, you could think of this as like a path or something.
Yeah.
And like, it fits. When you look at it, it never distracts from the model. It never like brings its attention away from the model itself.
And I like that he's used like a little bit of the purple shadowing in the orange.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, you see the face. Oh, yeah, you see. Like
I'm not sure
the
that
front.
he has.
They see that? See that? Yeah, a little bit.
No,
purply.
that's the reflection of the light, so that the fluorescent will go off.
Oh, okay. What is that? Yeah, I think. But you see how those colors are very nice. nicely paired that they help to make it more vibrant. But yeah.
All right, but since this is the throwback, we won't spend too much time on it. We will move on to our final post.
Oh, I didn't have my post.
You must press the refresh button.
The refresh.
All right, so a Throwback Thursday piece, but there's a bit of text there. You want to read it out?
Yeah. A Throwback Thursday piece. First piece I tried to only focus on the golden angle, and it feels kind of lazy. Probably won't be doing that again. This was also one of my first real attempts at non-metallic metal. Overall, a super fun piece.
So, I just wanna point out some things, right? So I don't think that it feels lazy at all in the painting of this, right? But what I will say is there's certain things where, like, it's Superman's glasses, right? Like, it's the breaking of the verisimilitude. Now, you see, this is obviously a printed piece, and you can tell by all of those support dots right here.
Oh.
Right? And you just look at that, and you're just like, oh, okay. All right. And you just go, okay, I get the picture.
But I think that's like if you really look at it.
No, but I mean, like, you don't have to really look at it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you look down here and you're like, ooh, so smooth. And the minute your brain thinks smooth, right? Because
it's gonna look for a contrasting point.
Yeah, and you look down here, right? So let's once again follow the angles, right? So we go ooh, and then the sword points right to the faults.
Right, okay, yeah, all right.
Right,
yeah,
and this is what we're talking about with composition, right? Because look at all of this. This is amazing painting. This is like just straight up just gorgeous, right?
Magazine.
And the thing is, especially when he's done this and removed the background, right? I think that looks really nice. I don't feel like it feels lazy at all. I completely disagree with that. I think this looks very nice. But once again, so just like with Iskander's post, right? Like, the painting is really nice. But once again, you're let down by the basing a bit. And the thing is that many of the people who would have issues with this paint job, right? They wouldn't realize that they don't actually have issues with the paint job. They've got issues with, like, the composition of the piece and such. Because, like, let's imagine you just blank out that piece. Just put your thumb over that little bit and look how much better the post looks. So, like, I just put my thumb over that. Literally, that's what I'm doing right now.
It also brings a lot more focus to the model.
Yeah.
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 Because, yeah.
But see, like, the only thing that I think he could improve is just more sheen lines within the swords, but I'm very bad at that myself, so I'm not.
Paul Inman, a little too late. We are
Yes.
on our last post.
Yes.
Last post.
So, like, that's one of the things that I just like you guys to take a look at. That you might have absolutely fantastic models, but you've let yourself down with something small like composition and that. To give an example of this, Warren's recently been doing up the Galactus guy, and he's up to the eyes, and with the eyes, he's got like one a green color and one a blue color, and I know I feel a bit like a swear, but the thing is, when I looked at the eyes, I just immediately felt like, oh man, that throws everything off. And you know, we had a few people talk about it, right? And like I said there, with the feedback, I want to give honest advice because you put in an ton of effort into it, and I want it to get the love it deserves, because we see how much effort that Warren puts into these things, right? And that's what I'm talking about with all of you guys. So I'm just going to go back a bit, right? So we see these things like Iskander, just moving this helps the composition of the piece completely. Like it's a fantastic paint job. Like, look at how crisp that black against the white is, and like there's even highlighting within that. That is next level painting, right? Then we come down here, right? And you can see all of this effort put into the blue here, right? And this is what I'm talking about again and again. I see this, right? You guys put in so much effort into your things, right? Like, do we even really need to say anything with Larry and his dragster? Not me. Anyway, but like the thing is, we take a look time and again, and like,
oh yeah,
Connor,
so like what a great paint job, but then the photo let him down.
And this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, often it can just be a small thing that will let you down. So, I'm gonna finish up this week. I think this is something that I'm gonna try and do each week, which is just take down this part of the display, just have a full on picture for a bit, and just say, guys, my biggest thing when it comes to feedback is be honest, right? But also be constructive. Because when I look at all of these pieces, I see how much effort people have put into things. And people will keep putting effort into things if they feel like somebody notices them.
So like somebody notices the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, just put that effort into your feedback, and like, guys, don't feel afraid to give feedback on WAYPN. That's what this place is all about. Like, guys, I put my stuff up here, right? And I don't put my stuff up here because I'm like, oh, look at how good I am. Like, you heard how I talked about that Blood Bowl team. I'm obviously not very proud of it. Like, I feel like I could do so much better. But the issue is, when you're a commissioned painter, you got to paint appropriately. And if you're painting to tabletop level, you got to paint to tabletop level. You can't spend like
ages on it.
Yeah, like if you're only getting $10 like per model, and
you're giving like
3 hours of time per model, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's another thing. Just keep in mind where you are. Like, for example, with it was Nicholas Pryor who had the ball, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So just keep in mind to keep your level of effort consistent. Like, if you put an ton of effort into one particular thing, like, it's going to show, and an unbalanced piece will often shoot you in the foot more than it will help you.
Yeah, as my mother said, do it once, do it right.
Yeah, I think you can do tabletop style, but like, if you go do tabletop style and then you spend like 3 hours on a sword, people are going to be like, that's a really cool sword on a really SE model. And like, they're not going to think like, oh, look how well you did the
the
metal.
whole thing. Yeah,
they're just going to like focus on the contrast. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you found this feedback helpful, because we always try and give our most honest and best advice that we can, and we try and give it from a place where we feel that we're actually helping you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, and as always,